Single obstacle challenges. The box part B. Doing this with boots, and most of it's at liberty, and we're rubbing the rope all over her body on that side. And important obviously that we can do everything on both sides so the horse can view us with both eyes doing the same thing. So rubbing her all over. She's a bit muddy, so I didn't want to get my rope too gunky. And a treat for standing still, for staying parked. Number 2, ask the horse to sniff her tail. So I've just pulled her tail around. I'm asking her to flex toward me, and I just get her to sniff the end of her tail for a few seconds and click and a treat. Same time straightening out her head. And again, we need to do everything on both sides. So I've asked her to turn around because it would be pretty hard for you to see me on the other side. So we did a little turn on the haunches, and I'm asking her just to back up a little bit. So she's in position for doing sniff the tail on this side. You can see her tail is active, so she's thinking like she always is. So just hold the end of her tail and ask her to sniff it for a few seconds, and a click and a treat for that. Number 3, the horse is on the inside of the box and the handler is on the outside of the box, and we walk around the box. So it's a turn away at each corner. We practiced this first online until she got the idea that she wasn't to step out of the box but was to do nice accurate corners. And she's pretty good at it now. So in this case I'm asking for left hand turn each time, and I click and a treat when I get a really good swing around the corner. So that was my click point, getting a really nice clean swing around the corner. And there you can see she's a little bit further ahead of me. Now number 4, a horse outside, the handler on the inside. So now it's a turn toward or a turn with. So I need to keep my energy up at the corner and make it a nice clear turn so she knows to come along. And a click there because it was quite a drama to stop her climbing on the pedestal behind there every time we came around that corner. So I'm still using that as a click point when she ignores the pedestal and comes around with me. So a turn. I try to keep my body energy up as I turn, but give her time to come around with me. So that was a really nice one. So my click points are a really nice clear turn. Number 5, trot into the box, halt and trot out. We didn't have a lot of room there to get our trot going, but she managed to do it on the curve. So we had a halt, stayed parked for a bit, and then not a lot of room to get the trot going again, but she managed it, which was pretty good in the situation. Number 6, back through open corners. I've used a smaller box here with proper rails. It's easier to set them out. And I've started with a rope and halter because it's been probably a couple of years or more since we actually did this. Click and a treat for backing out nice and straight in the gap. Horses actually find a gap on the ground like this harder to navigate than backing between something like 2 barrels because they can't actually see much there. Their belly gets in the way. They can't really see exactly where their hind legs are. So it's important that we remember that, and she's pretty reliant on me directing her hind end around, and there she didn't come around quite enough, so she did brush the rail, but then she was fine. So that was really nice. I was pleased with that. Click and a treat for that. And because the task ideally is to do all 4 corners, I've got to ask her to come back in as well. She's having a think about that. And try to get her halted about in position to do another corner, and then I'm asking her to hide her hind end and back through that gap. And she's pretty cued in there. So when I'm looking at one hind end, that's the end she has to move over, and that was pretty good as well. Click in the treat for that nice back up. And just a bit of a pause, and then ask her to come back in. You can see she's thinking, do I want to do this again? Do I really want to do this again? So I said, sure you do, come on in. She's finishing her treat, and she comes in. That was nice. And I'm thinking about how I'm going to position her to go through the last corner, and she stays parked while I move around. And I ask her to shift her front end over. Just have to touch her lightly on the shoulder. Front end, shift it over, and whoa. The click is so wonderful because you can exactly tell the horse when you want it to whoa, because the minute they click, they sort of freeze into position to get their treat. And so you could click exactly the moment that you want. And she's a little bit close there, so that was pretty good. I didn't have to help her nearly as much. And number 7, side pass across the rails. We'll do it from her right going toward the left first. And for this I've put the halter and rope back on, but I try to keep a smile in the lead rope. Float or a smile in the lead rope as much as I can. If she needs more guidance, I give it to her. You can see there sometimes she needs a bit of guidance with pressure on the halter, but on the whole she's come around quite nicely. We haven't done this for ages either, so I wanted to go back and give her the added cues with the rope and the halter. And I'd probably do this another 7 or 8 times before I ask her to do it at liberty. But I only do it like once or twice a day. I wouldn't drill it. I wouldn't say we're going to do this 3 times right now, because it's quite a difficult task, and I want her to feel happy about it so that she will do it at liberty without thinking that, whoops, you can see there my timing was wrong. I take the blame for that. I didn't get her hind end around in time, or actually got it around too soon. So she's dependent on me to tell her when to swing her hind end around. That was good. Again, because they can't actually see their hind feet in relation to the rails, because their belly gets in the way. And we were happy with that for a very first effort.